Hello everyone, welcome back to Pepcoding. So the question which we will talk about today is called number of provinces. So first let me explain the question to you. We have been given n cities, alright. So in these n cities, all of these or some of these can be connected to each other, while some of these might not be connected to each other. And those which are connected to each other might be connected directly or they might be connected indirectly also. So what I mean by this statement is that over here, if I have A and B, these two are directly connected. If I have B and C, then B and C are also directly connected. But A and C are indirectly connected. Okay, so how will this help our question? We have to find out the number of provinces. Let's assume that we have been given a few cities like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And over here I have 2 is connected to 1, 2 is connected to 6, and 6 is connected to 3. So 3 and 1 are also indirectly connected. 3 and 2 are indirectly connected. 6 and 1 are indirectly connected. So all of these connected cities are going to form a province together. Similarly, 4 and 5 are connected. So 4 and 5 will form another province. Let's assume I have another city over here, 6, or I have already taken 6. Let's assume I have 7. So 7 is not connected to anybody, but 7 in itself is a province. So here I cannot go from 3 to 4. I don't have any path between them. That means that they lie in the separate provinces. Okay. So how will we go about in this question? What is the input type? How will you give the output? Let's see. You have been given a 2D matrix. Alright. And this matrix is of the size n cross n. So let's suppose the number of cities which have been given to me are 3. So over here, if I make this grid, alright. So I'm saying that I have 3 cities, 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3. In this, the input is either 1 or 0. So let's suppose I have 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 0, 0, 1. So remember that for each grid, diagonals will always be 1. Why? At any position, 1 means that the city I and J are connected to each other, and at any position, 0 means that the city I and J are not connected to each other. So every city is obviously always going to be connected to itself, right? So for 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, or basically any position where I and J are equal to each other, we will always have 1. Okay. Other than that, in this question, see, looking at the input in this question, I can see that I have 1 which is connected to 2 but not connected to 3. Now since 1 is connected to 2, so 2 will also be connected to 1 and 2 is connected to itself. 3 is also present but it is not connected to any of these provinces or any of these cities. So I have total 2 provinces. Okay. So how will I be able to get my answer? In the previous level, that is level 1 or the foundation level, you have done a question which was called number of connected components in a graph. Okay. So if you already know this question, then doing this one will be very easy. Otherwise, I'm going to suggest you to go and watch the video to understand it better so that you can use the concept used in that question in our present question. Alright. So what we will do, we will go to each city, that is we will go to diagonal positions and we will check whether these are traversed or not. So for us, if I have 1 over here, that means that it is not traversed. So over here, city number 1 has not been traversed. I will make it 0 and move to its next column. Now I can see over here that 1, 2 has not been traversed. That means for 1, 2, J is 2, that means we will check for city number 2 after this. First we will make this as 0, then I will go to city number 2. 2, 2 has not been traversed, it is 1. So we will make it 0 and we will go and traverse in this city. Now over here I have 2, 1, so I will check whether 1, 1 has been traversed. Now 1 comma 1 has been traversed, so I will simply make this 0 and go back. Now 1 comma 3 is already 0. That means that either there is no connection or it has been traversed. We don't care about that. We will simply leave it as 0. Okay. Then for city number 3, this is also 0. This is also 0. We will leave it. And 3 comma 3 is 1 only. So we will make it as 0. Increase the count by 1. So it will give me another province. And we cannot go to any other city after this. So we will leave it as it is. Okay. So what we are going to check? First for I comma I, that if it is 0, then we are going to continue, and if it is 1, we are going to call DFS for in the graph for I, right? Then in DFS we are going to work for all the columns, that is J from 0 to N. Okay, and in this we need to check two things, that if J comma or let's I comma J is 0, or if J comma J is 0, then we are going to continue. Otherwise, we are going to call DFS for that column. Okay. So now let us try to do this using code. Over here, we have int count as 0, int n as grid dot size, and we will move in the rows. So for int I equals 0, I is less than n, I plus plus. We will check that if graph of I comma I is equal to 0, that means that city has been traversed. So we will continue. Otherwise, increase count by 1, because that means that we have discovered another province, and call DFS in the graph for that column. Okay. After that, we are going to work on the DFS function. So void DFS vector of int graph and int I. So the first thing I need to do is that I will put graph of I comma I as 0, right? Then I'm going to start moving in all of its columns. So for int j is equal to 0, j is less than grid dot size j plus plus. We are going to check what, that if graph of I comma j is 0, or if graph of j comma j is 0, that means that city has been traversed. Then we will continue. Otherwise, we will call DFS in the graph for j. Okay. The next thing which we need to do is we need to return the count, and that will be the end of our solution. So we are still working on the test cases of this question. So unfortunately, I will not be able to run this for you, but I can assure you that the code is correct. So we've already discussed the logic anyway, so I'm going to assume that you will be able to do the coding by yourself, and have faith that the code is correct. Okay, we will see each other in the next video. Keep practicing. Until then, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.